Hello, 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 and welcome to a spiritual remedy. My name is Sunshine Day, and I am the host of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Uh, I see a world where clean and sober people, where people in recovery are living their best life and loving it. And what I get a chance to do is I get to provide spiritual tools and loving support for your personal transformation. Wow, what I have been dealing with in the last month, especially around us taking a look at Mental Health Awareness Month, is dealing with emotions. And I want to know if you're dealing with emotions too. I mean, with everything that's happening in the world, with everything that's happening in our own world, lots of us are dealing with emotions. So today, let me know that you're tuning in. Tell me who you are. Hey, good morning, Nancy. Good to see you this morning. Glad you're with us. Today my the theme that I want to really just kind of hone in on, as we're looking at getting loving support, is difficult emotions or difficult you. Ouch. Is it that I have difficult emotions, or is it that I am difficult? Difficult emotions or difficult you? And it's interesting to be able to talk about this stuff in a way that is actually helpful, in a way that we break it down so that we're living our best life. Because truth be told, even folks in sobriety or folks in recovery or folks who are abstinent, we talk about emotional sobriety, right? Not even a physical sobriety, but we talk about emotional sobriety. And I'm wondering what comes first, and what you think comes first. Do you think like physical sobriety comes first, or emotional sobriety comes first, or some kind of combination of sorts? For me, I think that it's a little bit of both. That there's some emotional sobriety, and then physical sobriety, and emotional sobriety, and more physical sobriety. However, when we're talking about emotions, um, most of us are familiar with the six emotions. And those six emotions are mad, sad, glad, fear, disgust, and surprise. Mad, sad, glad, fear, disgust, and surprise. And those are like the six basic fears. And from that stems all of the other emotions that we experience. And, too many times, especially for people in recovery and people who are really just, not even in recovery, but people who are really just trying to live their best life, emotions come up. And how do we deal with them? How do we get through to the other side? And what I'm here to share with all of us today is that we can actually experience, confront, and accept all of our emotions. Imagine yourself and just, close your eyes for a minute and see healthy you confronting, which means just addressing, not like in a fight, like to fight, but just like, this is before me, it's in front of me, confronting, not aggressive, but see yourself like face to face with your emotions. See yourself experiencing your emotions, and also see yourself accepting your emotions. And what I want to know is, like, what does that feel like? What does it feel like to begin to imagine that you are face to face with your emotions? And here it is, right? Whether it's anguish, or whether it's despair, or disgust, or surprise, or love, or peace, or, like all of these emotions, envy, jealousy. Imagine that you are face to face with these emotions, and that you experience these emotions, and that you accept these emotions. What do you think that's like for you? What makes it so scary? I would really love to know, like, what makes dealing with our emotions such a scary proposition? And is it because we're labeling these emotions difficult, or is it truly because I'm the difficult one? So here's a little bit of the breakdown, right? So the breakdown is this: our emotions are neither good nor bad. They are neither positive or negative. Emotions are actually the neurological, meaning the body responds to a stimulus. Something is a stimulus, and your body has a response or reaction. That feeling, that physical feeling, then gets labeled. And guess who does the labeling, beloved? You. You label that feeling. What has happened is growing up, something we were playing on the playground, and we learned, I learned to jump double dutch, growing up as a little kid in the Bronx. I'm with some friends. I feel this sense of belonging. There's this body chemical, this neurological response that's happening. I end up calling it joy or a sense of belonging. And I'm trying to, jump double dutch or play stickball in the middle of the street or Skelsies or one of those things. And there's a neurological response to a stimulus of what's going on. And so when that occurs in my body, I call it happy. I call it joy. I call it fun. I call it excitement. Now, when I'm a kid and, we're driving in the car and there's a car accident and my body has a response, I call that fear. Now, what the neuroscience proves is that excitement, that feeling of excitement and that feeling of fear is the same neurological response. That's why when someone goes to the amusement park and gets on the roller coaster, it's either fear or excitement. It's the same exact body response. And so emotions are energy and motion. I think I've talked about this before. And that energy and motion we label as fear, anger, dread, anguish, jealousy, envy, love, hate, joy, exhilaration. Whatever it is, we are the ones who label it. Therefore, my question of difficult feelings or difficult emotions or difficult you. And so to the degree in which we're willing to say, there's something happening in my body. Well, there's a sensation, I feel it, that we're able to, quote unquote, confront it. And then we're able to experience it and allow it to come fully. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. It's our reaction or the thought or the label that we put on that actually then sets the framework for how we're going to respond or react. Because if it's based in fear, we're never going to make those great decisions about our life. And so it's important to begin to move into what I call an attitude of gratitude, and looking at how gratitude is an exercise that can move us to a place, right? Who would think that difficult emotions, attitude of gratitude, would actually help us to confront, experience, and accept our emotions? What do you think about that? That this attitude of gratitude actually helps to reduce fear, actually helps to reduce anxiety, actually helps to reduce stress, actually helps to reduce that feeling of self criticism and disgust and loneliness and jealousy and envy. Helps to increase feelings of happiness and joy and abundance. Try it. I mean, you don't have to believe me. You get to try it. You get to try it. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on a daily basis being able to live and come up with anything that comes up in terms of your emotions. I'm talking about being able to have that emotional sobriety, that emotional wherewithal. Because the truth is that there are a lot of intelligent people in the world. Yesterday, I was in San Marino doing a program with some folks around emotional intelligence. And we were taking a look at people's IQ compared to their EQ. And who do you think moves ahead and moves up the ranks in leadership, in their businesses, in at their workplace, in relationships? Well, certainly, you know, society has told us that it's important for us to have a high IQ and we value education and intelligence. And yet you can have someone who's super, super intelligent, you know, and have a high IQ but a low EQ and emotional quotient. In other words, being able to be self-aware, being able to be socially aware, being able to manage our own emotions and to be able to navigate in building relationships. Those are the areas of emotional intelligence. And an attitude of gratitude is the beginning place to where we begin to develop this EQ. Now, your IQ, from what I'm understanding, your IQ cannot elevate. Your IQ is just going to be your IQ, and you may take an IQ test at 15 and you may take an IQ test at 35, and it's barely going to move. It's going to pretty much stay the same. But your EQ is something that you can develop. It's something that you can develop, and having an increased EQ, emotional quotient, actually helps you in building relationships and maintaining relationships and creating the life that you crave. Now, I know that people tune in because they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're no longer loving what they have. They're looking for ways to grow and to have that growth mindset. And looking at our EQ, really looking at our emotional quotient and being able to work on certain areas, like, am I self-aware? And so becoming self-aware and the practice of gratitude and attitude of gratitude actually begins to help. And so what does a morning practice look like for you? When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you say? Are you saying, good God, it's morning, or oh, another morning? Or are you saying, this is a great day to be alive. Like, this is an amazing day. I'm grateful for this day. As a matter of fact, giving thanks and just moving into this place of gratitude, like, I'm breathing. And I want to do that with you right now. Let's just do this cascade of gratitude, right? Like, I'm grateful to be awake. I'm grateful for the air in my lungs. I'm grateful for technology. I'm grateful for my bed. Grateful for the clean sheets on my bed, and I'm grateful for my pillow. I'm grateful for the covers on my bed that kept me comfortable last night, right? I'm grateful for my beloved who slept next to me. I'm grateful for my dog who also slept next to me. Right? I'm grateful that I have clean water which to shower with every day and brush my teeth. I have a toothbrush. I'm grateful for my toothbrush. I'm grateful for my toilet. I'm grateful for running water. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. Right? I so appreciate being able to have coffee this morning, which is a luxury. To be able to have food in my refrigerator. Oh, and by the way, I have refrigerator, and I'm grateful for the electricity that's running in my home that provides things to be cold or things to be made hot, or even for me to connect with you out there in the virtual world. I'm grateful for the technology that brings us together this morning. I'm grateful for the clothes that I got to put on this morning, that I have a closet and hangers in which to hang up my clothes. I'm grateful that I have dresser drawers and little cubbies and cabinets in which to put my things. I'm grateful. And I can just now even start with my feet. I'm grateful for my toes and my 2 feet. I'm grateful for my ankles and my knees and my legs that I can walk. And I can walk up and down stairs. I'm grateful for my hips. I'm grateful for my sexual organs. I'm grateful that my body knows how to take in and how to eliminate. I'm grateful for my waist and my core. Grateful for that core strength. I'm grateful for my lungs. Grateful for my hands and the digits that help me to write and help me to type and help me to pick up things and bring them toward my mouth. Grateful for my mouth and for my tongue that gets to taste. I'm grateful for my eyes that I get to see. Grateful for my ears where I get to hear, and the hair on my head is getting out of control, but I love it. And I'm grateful for every gray hair, for every black hair, for every white hair. I'm grateful for every hair that grows on my head and throughout my body. I'm grateful for my cheeks. I'm grateful that I have the sense of touch. And as I begin to really well up with this attitude of gratitude, I recognize that I have so much and that I am so much. I have my health and my wholeness, that the blood is circulating through my veins, that the air is going into my lungs and circulating throughout my body, bringing oxygen to my brain, that my brain is functioning fully. And that on the exhale that I'm releasing the carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide is then taken in by the plants, and that the plants take in the carbon dioxide and that they give out oxygen. I'm grateful for the reciprocal nature of love, for the ebb and flow of life, for the divine order that everything has in life. I'm grateful for that. And that this attitude of gratitude, what it has to do with my emotions, is that it helps me to recognize and see that as I have all of these abilities and these things in my life, these systems that are functioning and working in my life, that I actually can indeed with ease and grace experience these emotions, that I can confront these emotions, that I can accept these emotions, and that I can actually name these emotions good and very good, or use them to give me some indication as to what I'm thinking and believing, so that I can get rid of those old thoughts and beliefs that are still acting as a law in my life. You see, sometimes it's amazing to work from someplace far away and then get back to the point that this attitude of gratitude actually brings me to my wholeness. It brings me to this place of love and of peace, and that I can make amazing and beautiful and sound, healthy decisions from this place. And so to the degree in which I engage in this attitude of gratitude, to the degree in which I make this part of a regular practice of my day, and to the degree in which I get involved in this cascade of gratitude in my life, what begins to happen is that all of my brain functions begin to get in alignment, and that I can, from my limbic all the way to my hippocampus and all the way to the frontal cortex and the frontal lobe where I make decisions, that it becomes clear and it becomes easy and it becomes grateful and graceful. And when these emotions hit, because they will, whatever emotion that is, whatever body sensation that is, that I can be before it, AKA confront it, that I can experience it and that I can accept it without having to feel stressed out, without having to feel angry, even though anger is a natural emotion and a natural feeling as well, that I can deal with it, that I can experience it and come out on the other side learning something about myself. This has all to do with our recovery. We are recovering our full selves, our whole selves. And so I trust that today's message has been instrumental, that it provides some food for thought, and that more than anything, that it provides more questions than answers, so that you too can find the answers that are longing to be answered within you. Know that you are loved, and I look forward to seeing you again right here next week. Tell a friend. See you then. Bye for now. Celebrate.